Well, good afternoon, family, friends, and honored guests. It was just over 2 years ago, I gave a speech as I completed my second term as a member of this governing body. During that speech, I made a comment that I would be back. 2 years later, I can proudly say, I'm back. This year's campaign Thank you. This year's campaign was tough and nasty. There were many lies and flyers being thrown about both sides. This is politics at its worst. Most of these lies and flyers were started or spread by a self-proclaimed local activist who's nothing more than a bad used car salesman with his own personal agenda. These flyers were funded by a Cherry Hill attorney who got himself involved in local politics, and he paid the price. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank a few people who are a huge part of our success. Our campaign manager, Ted Hambrick, and our treasurer, Rob Walsh. They put in many hours of hard work, which allowed Bill and I to spend all our time knocking on doors and speaking to the residents, where we heard the frustrations with the direction of Waterford Township. Bill and I were able to knock on almost 1,700 doors in all areas of this town. We received nothing but positive feedback on our campaign. Along the way, we had help from others who actively worked on our behalf. Carl Lang, Tommy Gengulio, Al Perillo, Al Campbell, Dennis LaMagna, Julie Day, Lynn Ferguson, Gabe Semino, Tony Clark, Elmer Davini, John Becker, and of course, Kim Hoagland Hurley, and all our Facebook friends. Many more took time out of their busy schedules to make phone calls and reach out to their friends. They are the backbone in the Army, which brought real change to Waterford Township. I want to offer a huge personal thank you to Carol Melvin for her support to me personally over the last year. Our chats calmed me and made me feel better, just like somebody else we all knew. Nobody can do this type of public service without the support of their family. I want to thank my brother, Big John, for all his help as the head of our sign committee, and also my sisters, Janet and Linda Marie, for their support and confidence in our efforts. Over the past 25 years I've spent in public service, my son, Bill and Dan, knew what it meant to me and my dedication to the residents of Waterford Township. There were many times I had to leave ball games, soccer games, concerts, plays, but through it all, they understood, and for that, I'm forever grateful. They've grown into two fine young men, and I couldn't be prouder of either one of them. They're now older, and they understand what public service is and how you can accomplish things to make people's lives better. They are my most ardent and vocal supporters. Thanks, guys. I love you. My son Bill's gotten engaged, and my future daughter-in-law is here today, Amanda, who you will be glad to know has a different view of politics than mine. Whenever we talked about national politics, Amanda and I would debate our views. Amanda, I valued those discussions as they made me refine and reinforce my views. Beside every man, there is a woman, my wife, Kathy. And here's someone I never thought I would quote, but it exactly explains my feelings about her. My wife has been my closest friend, my closest advisor, and she's not one who looks for the limelight or is even wild about me being in politics. And that's a good reality check. When I get home, she wants me to be a good father and a good husband, and everything else is secondary to that. Barack Obama. Now, many of you know I'm not the greatest fan of President Obama, so for me that's a big leap. My wife has given up much to allow me to pursue my career in public service, and for that I am forever grateful. She's the glue that holds our family together, and she's the love of my life. No one could have asked for a better running mate than Bill Hurley. During the campaign, Bill and I spent more time together than we did with our families. And over the past year, Bill and I became more than running mates. We became good friends. Bill, I look for a quote to express my feelings, and Ralph Waldo Emerson says, "The glory of friendship is not the outstretched hand, nor the kindly smile, or the joy of companionship. It's the spiritual inspiration that comes when you discover that someone else believes in you and is willing to trust you with their friendship." Bill, thanks for being my friend. It was just over a year ago when my family suffered two great losses. My baby brother Tim passed away, and then we lost my mom, Betty. In the front row, there is a vase and a picture. That's reserved for them. I miss both of them very much, and I know they're here in spirit, along with the other members of the Richardson family, and they're looking in and smiling. My mom had a huge influence on me as I grew up. She would bend over backwards to help anyone and never ask for anything in return. What I learned from her is that helping people less fortunate than yourself is the responsibility of everyone. When I was young, my life goal from the time I could remember, I heard John Fitzgerald Kennedy's call to a nation of service when he said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." Well, what I someday wanted to be was President of the United States. As I got older, I realized I could have more of an impact on my hometown as a member of Township Committee. As a member of Township Committee, we receive a small salary. So today, as a way to honor my mother and the life lessons she taught me, and to give back to a town and a people that has given me so much, I am announcing that a portion of that salary will be given to fund a scholarship for a high school senior from Waterford Township who plans to further their education at a New Jersey college. The scholarship will be called the Betty Richardson Memorial Scholarship Fund. The people of Waterford voted for change in November, and today, the time for change has arrived. The time to return open, honest, responsible government is at hand, and this committee is ready to do the people's work. The committee will hit the ground running and make positive change. In closing, I want to thank everyone who voted for Bill and I, and for those who didn't, we want you to know we will work for all the residents of Waterford Township. God bless everyone, and God bless Waterford Township. Thank you. Second.
May I, who was the second? Bill? Okay. Poll vote. Mr. Kondo?
Yes.
Mrs. Finnery?
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton?
No.
Mr. Hurley?
Yes.
Mr. Richardson?
Yes.
At this time, I would like to call Assemblyman Pamela Lampert, Assemblyman Louis Greenwald to give the oath of office to Mayor Kondo.